Hello and welcome to an episode of The Card Show. Hope everyone's well. Checking in with everyone as always. It's all good. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about getting ready for your first card show. I think card shows are happening up and down the country now, most weekends. What was once something like I don't want to say a big spectacle, but something that was looking forward. They look forward to every sort of month or every couple of months. There wasn't as many around now. That every week up and down the country. I know that not everyone goes to every card show, but more often than not, there's card shows that you can get to relatively easy, relatively quickly. Nice locations. I think a lot of people are up in the game a little bit as well. So but a lot of people still haven't been to some. So I think with the growth of the hobby, it's kind of a nice little pod to put out, a bit of information to put out, and hopefully it helps some people, and maybe you pick something up from it too. And again, all this is from my personal experience. Well, let me know your personal experience as well. Let me know if you think I missed something, or if you go for something over what I was saying. You have different choices, opinions. I'm always willing to listen and hear it. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. Let's go. So we'll start at the beginning. The planning part of your travel, your accommodation potentially. Because don't forget, there's different types of shows now. Instead of just being a short 6-hour show, when maybe sort of a 10 till 4. Now we have weekend shows, 3-day shows. So you have to plan these things, whether that's your travel, your accommodation, and how far your accommodation is from the event, and do you have to travel again? Is there a taxi involved, etc. But let's say you've got the basics of that sorted. You have you travel to and from, you have your accommodation, and you know how to get to and from. Because obviously, London Card Show has a place pretty much built on, and the Yorkshire X Birmingham takeover, the NEC, obviously that had, I think, 7 hotels pretty much built on, which just made it a lot easier. In the UK, I don't think. Oh, Southampton was at the Novotel, so it was built on. I think Sports Card Social has a hotel or 2 that would be pretty much next door to the event. But other than that, I don't think there's many that have hotels or built on site. And even I don't know the size of those sort of hotels. So you're not always going to get somewhere on the doorstep. So always work out the logistics. You don't want to be. I remember I first went to Tolworth, and I'd never even heard of Tolworth. It was a London Card Show at Tolworth, and I'd never heard of it. I planned to go in, and I think even then I got off because it was obviously being a Manc, being from Manchester. I didn't know the difference between the rail systems of the underground, overground, and the fact that the Oyster cars didn't work at certain points on the overground. So I remember getting off. I got in New Malden, if I remember correctly. I went to Nando's up there, and then I walked, thinking it wasn't that far, to Tolworth. I was staying at the Premier Inn Travelodge. I think it's a Travelodge in Tolworth. And then to get to the show the next morning, it was just across the road, through an estate, around a corner. It was less centre, so it was a good 10-minute walk, I'd say. But I had to sort of figure it all out. I think I did a bit. I always do a bit of a pre-walk, get to the area a little bit anyway whenever I arrive somewhere. But it was an interesting one. So always be wary of your surroundings, I suppose. And the good thing is now, you have so much available on the internet, I suppose, of planning it and make sure there's food and places to sort of go anywhere around there and enjoy yourself. So that's always a massive help. But make sure you plan that sort of stuff as well. It sort of gets me going. Some people just look for a cheap hotel, and all of a sudden it's miles out, and it'll cost you more in sort of Ubering back and forth, or it'll cost you more in going out to get food in the evening to come back and go out in the daytime to the show and come back. So make sure you plan that stuff properly. But once all that logistical stuff is done, some of the tips for sort of being at a show, we'll start from the bottom. On the bottom, we'll start with trainers. I think this is quite important. I think some people can overlook this part as well, and it can really backfire and really make the day a little bit more uncomfortable. I think having been to said numerous shows, getting the right trainer, the right sneaker, whatever you call them, the right one or right pair, give them a little hint there, a little tidbit. The right pairs, having a few different over the weekends, it really does make a big difference. Again, this is going to show more if you have a 2 or 3 day show. If you have a 1 day show and you said it's local, so you're up there for X amount of hours, it's not as bad. But if you're at, say, for London, if you're at London Car Show, that's 3 intense days, long days. And not only that, there's a trade night on a Saturday, which you may or may not attend. So, you're possibly on your feet quite a lot. Yeah, walking around, putting in miles in. So, yeah, I would recommend some good trainers. So, and I'll, for me, I'm going to list a few here. These are ones that I've tried either at shows or just recently with long days on my feet. Yeah, I've racked up some good mileage in these shoes. I can vouch for them and some good long days sort of standing on them. So yeah, so there's the start where was start with the Adidas. I always say Adidas because of it's German, right? So Adidas, like I just presume it's how it was said. Adidas sounds a bit too English, right? But Adidasler. That's the other name, right? Adidasler. The Evo SL. Now I'm hearing it the SL XO. EXO is supposed to be better, a bit more stability, a bit better caging. I had not tried them, but the Evo SL, massive selling pair. I think they've sold over 10 million worldwide. So you probably see a lot of people wearing them. 99% sure it's what Dan had on at the Sports Cards UK had on the Birmingham, Yorkshire Birmingham takeover. Again, lightweight, comfy. A lot of foam in the midsole. Adidas's latest stuff, not the Boost, it's the newer stuff. So yeah, comfy trainers, again very popular. So and they did look nice. Not that that means much, but if that's another thing as well, they do look aesthetically pleasing. And we'll stay with Adidas for this one. This is the newer sort of running trainer, which is the Hyper Boost. Only one colorway of these at the moment, which is white with red. But again, lightweight, extreme padding, comfortable. These are, decent trades. You'll probably find the Evos at discount lot places. I think I've seen them. I think it was End in sale for like £70, and you usually get them from like 70 to £80 in sales, and they retail for 130ish. So not a bad price. Pick up some comfy trainers to chuck on for shows. Hyperboost new, so very difficult to get on discount. So yeah, 40 else pay top dollar there. Then we've got the New Balance, the Fuel Cell Propel V5s. Extremely comfortable. Again, you might be able to get them on good sales. Just look on like Google, type in on Google, and it usually brings up a good selection of different outlets that were selling them and different prices, different shops. But yeah, definitely recommend them. And also the New Balance More Foam V5, probably the comfiest. V6, sorry, V6. Probably one of the comfiest trainers out there. And yeah, you probably find few less deals on them, but a few random colorways usually go on at say like a price. So you have to know out. Even like Sports Direct have them now for like £100 area, but you can usually get them again very comfortable with New Balance foam. I think they're available in wide options as well. So for people who may have wider feet, because obviously there are running shoes. A lot of these are running shoes. I just find them extremely comfy to be in, and again lightweight. So yeah. Then the hookahs. So I haven't personally had the Bondis and the Cliftons, the Bondi 8s, 9s, and the Clifton 10s. Cliftons are very similar to a Bondi, very comfy, very stacked with the hookah comfort. So I can recommend them. Definitely, but I think the hookahs are probably been the staple. The Hookahs and the New Balance Fuel Cell actually have been a bit of a staple last few shows. So yeah, I'd recommend them. I mean, I'm adding this next pair to the rotation for enough because I've been wearing them lately and they're extremely comfortable. And that is the Nike Vomero Plus. I managed to get these at a really good price. I think about £65 off. I don't think you'll see a deal like that again. Maybe you will. But yeah, look around. You'll find them usually from that 100, 110, £15 area. Is the extremely comfortable Nike's latest sort of soft midsole, not the React, it's the Zoom X. Yeah, extremely comfortable. Very nice uppers, lightweight, not overly heavy, but not overly lightweight either. But yeah, extremely comfortable and probably going to be my new sort of car show tree, I think. I got mine in a black and white colorway, but also kind of inoffensive, but they do a lot of colorways, very similar to the Adidas, Evo SLs, a little less so than New Balance. They do a few colorways, but not a great deal. And it's similar with the Hookahs. I got mine black and white, and they do colorways. I'd go for inoffensive colorways just because I wear a lot of inoffensive clothes. You know, I don't go major colorway. I mean, I've still got a green hoodie on tonight, but yeah, I'm using that sort of green, browns, blacks sort of a guy. Bit of grey maybe now and then. Red obviously for the Chiefs and a bit of blue for City every now and then, but yeah, nothing staples darker. And last but not least, I'll recommend the Nike Vomero Premium style. A lot more expensive. You can get a good discount here and there on them. I was lucky to get mine from a size discount, which is 20% off full price trainers. So yeah, I was lucky that way because again, they retail around 200, £220 area. So yeah, if you can take 20% of that, it kind of helps. Still very expensive, but this is the biggest stack. The stack is that big in the midsole that is even said on the trainer that is not legal for race competitions. So yeah, extremely comfortable. Kind of a weird one to sort of. It's quite heavy. But yeah, it's kind of a weird one to sort of walk around all day in. But yeah, extreme comfort. Maybe not the best for a full weekend show, but yeah, extreme comfort and again a bit heavier because of the stack, but it is one of these. And obviously to go with it, you're gonna need some sort of socks that are gonna help you through the day and not be irritant. I prefer sort of thicker sports socks. I'm gonna lift my leg up and show you. I've currently got some like tie-dyed Nike ones on. But Nike sports socks usually good. You don't need any sort of brands and whatnot. I used to go with the free socks, and I used to, I can go to like 5, 6 pairs. I think I've got 2 or 3 left. They were really good socks. Again, I've worn them out. I used to wear them quite a lot. I used to batter them because they were good socks. They're really comfortable, and again, they were free. So yeah, it's a shame about them. Some people like these sort of the no sock look. Some people like the smaller, thinner socks. Whatever like works for you with comfortable trainers. If you again, they are running trainers that I'm recommending. So maybe you'd want sort of the thinner, no look sort of, or no show socks sort of thing. No look pass. That's again personal preference. Just make sure it works for you for these long days, a lot of walking, a lot of time on your feet. Next up, the pants. I wear joggers. So I just find it a lot comfortable. I could sort of see it as like the airport sort of flight. It's not like lounging area. I kind of see that sort of thing because I want to be able to move around a card show, and I don't want to be a bit stiff. I want to be flowing. I want it to be a bit lightly breathable. I don't get too sweaty. So yes, there's times to sit down, take breaks, relax, but yeah, it needs to be comfortable, right? So for me, it's like a joggers type of deal. I prefer the sort of the cotton thicker, no, not thicker, but cotton ones as opposed to other type, like the woven type of joggers. That's just me. Yeah, and again, you can pick these up. ASOS do plenty of cheap joggers. They've always worked out well for me. I've got a few pairs. Is these ones? I think these might be these ASOS ones. Double check what I'm wearing now. I'd be wearing ASOS ones now. If it's not ASOS, I'll bought them off ASOS. Ugh. And this is the collusion. I have a few pair of collusions. Yeah, I recommend them. But again, off ASOS, you can buy Nike, Adidas, whatever sort of couple ones that you feel comfortable with. I just never really had a sort of preference when it comes to them. As long as I sort of find a pair. I like cuffed ones as well, the ankles. That's on me. I go through stages. I used to like the wider leg, free flowing ones. Currently in like a cuffed, not overly cuffed, but like a soft hemming around the ankle. Again, personal preference at the moment. I prefer, it's, I don't know, just feel it makes me a bit more compact, but still lightweight. Next up, your boxes of choice. I'm a boxer guy, but make sure your briefs, make sure whatever wire fronts, underpants that you're wearing, make sure you can, maneuver, make sure you can wear them all day. No one wants Betty Swallocks, right? So, yeah, well, I'm a boxer guy. Some people are boxer briefs, some people are, whatever you may be, make sure whatever it is, there is a good tactical choice. I can't talk for females, that one. Whatever makes you, whatever helps you. Whatever helps you be tactical in that position. Be able to move, freedom. It doesn't irritate you all day. Then, so I prefer I think my latest one. I used to always, as can see, I wear a lot of hoodies. I think the shows would be indoors. I like zip through, like the full zip hoodies. Just gives my option, right? To have the open, bit of freedom. I know sometimes you can be not crammed in a show, but a lot of body heat around you. You're moving around, you get quite hot quite quick. With the hoodie on, you've got two options: if it's on or off. If it's a zip hoodie, you can just unzip a little bit, spread out, and more air comes in. So I'm going over that sort of vibe at the moment. Again, if you look past the old videos, I probably always had a hoodie on. It's something I learned that when I get hot, I've got to just deal with it or take the hoodie off, and then I got to carry it and this, that, the other, or whatever that may be. So yeah, I'd probably say zip through hoodie if that's your vibe. People might like cardigans or lightweight jumpers, sort of thin jumpers, which is cool. I've never gone down that route, so I could talk about my personal experience. Zip through hoodie just gives you extra pockets as well. Sometimes zip through hoodies that have got pockets on the outside, pockets on the inside. You can have 2 pockets. Next to you wearing like cargo joggers with extra pockets on there. T-shirt. I would go like a nice T-shirt. I'm not overly like, oh, it's got one of those wick-proof T-shirts and this or the other. I think they can get kind of like irritable, but yeah, like a bit blech after a few hours. They're sort of kind of meant for like a sportsy gym type thing, right? Where you're supposed to get the sweat going for a couple hours and you take it off and it helps you. But I don't think it's supposed to be for 8, 10, 12 hours of a day. I'm happy with just a lightweight cotton T-shirt. I usually have some sort of printed T-shirt. I mean, a lot of T-shirts are all easy, ASOS, Boohoo Man, just cheap printed T-shirts that will do the job. They don't matter too much. There's a few branded ones out there, to be fair, that I bought in the past. And then obviously anything else you may need if you're a glasses person, whatever about help you there, whether you have different glasses that will will help you these scenarios. I do not know. So I mean, like some people have like more comfortable glasses, right? Like they have the frames and they have certain frames that are just more comfortable for consistent wear. Do that sort of stuff. Again, if you're a hat guy, wear your hat. Again, you could be doing a lot today with a lot of body heat, you get a lot sweaty. So I think about them sort of things. I've never really been a cap guy, but yeah, it is what it is. Next to a bag. Now, I've been through a few different bags. Yeah, I can't remember that company now. There was a company that was like, it was like the UK's biggest in bags at one point, and then like one of the owners shouted over the owner, blah 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 blah. I think I literally just got a bag where it all went tits up. Um, it's one of them that had like a one row case in the bag as well. That's not a backpack. Again, I've used it a few times for shows, but more local shows, obviously, because I need actual clothes in my bag. So yeah, but you know, it's a good little bag. I don't think I should probably try and get rid of it. To be fair, I used to if I was wheeling and dealing as which I'm doing a lot less in the moment. You know, car shows, but if I was doing that, I used to have my no city. I think it's no city. It's called no city. Double check that name. Doesn't sound right now. No. Yeah, I can't type. I just typed in Bow City. Hilarious. No city design. There we go. So yeah, they did a sling. They've just released a newer one. It's called the Mashida sling, which is a little bit smaller, holds a little bit less. I think doesn't seem to have like the a case inside, but yeah, I always enjoyed that like case for like the sling I got from them. It was whether it wasn't like overly big and overly bulky, considering it had like a protective sort of casing in there, a little box that you'd unzip again and have little dividers in there. You may have seen it on videos, you may have seen it at a show if you've seen it at a show. But yeah, I enjoyed that. And again, I think they had a little zip on the back. You could put like money or cards. But that was very easy to go around, you know, quick dealership, especially if you're trading cash, etc. Or if you know you're trying to sell. Yeah, and then you know, on the backpack it would kind of depend on what we're doing that day. I mean, if you're not like filming, then you don't need to have like a camera or the battery packs, you know, wireless batteries, SD cards, all this stuff I may have, Kimballs or etc. So if he's just, you know, if you're a full weekend one, you know, you probably leave the backpack and just have a sling for your cards and your money. Uh, it just makes it a bit more lightweight, a little bit less bulky. You find a lot of shows people have backpacks on, and you sort of it's not difficult, but you end up bumping sort of backpacks or squeezing through. And yeah, so I think if you cannot take a backpack, it kind of helps you maneuver a little bit easier. But yeah, I get it if you need a backpack for whatever reason it may be. Make sure there's a good pad on there. I see a lot of people with the like backpack sort of strap holders and filming with that. You know, there would be a GoPro sort of attached on, so it's like a plastic holder, and you put a GoPro on there. I think there's now a wireless. Yes, it was the sort of mag sort of holder. You just bump like your phone on there, and record, and that sort of records as you're going through stuff. So again, it always helps if you're recording. But yeah, you know, you may have a bag that's sort of comfortable already, and as long as it does the job. Again, I used to take a few bags down, one for, you know, I used to try and squeeze in my no city design thing, get the cards in, and then I would have to like roll up my boxes, socks, you know, spare clothes for the weekend. Something else for the weekend if you're staying over. Probably not as much as for a one day show because you know you can sort of prepare yourself prior, but make sure you're taking sort of your deodorant, your toothpaste, because you don't want to be that guy at the show that you know day three kicks in and you've been slugging it out for 50 odd hours. That's you know stink up a little bit. So yeah, make sure you get your little deodorant because not every hotel has decent showers. I've been a victim of that a few times where you have a shower on that first night, and it's just miserable. Shout out to the Moxie though, I had a Moxie shower in Birmingham, and Sportscars UK Dan was saying, "Oh, it's got a powerful shower." You know, you just got to take it time, like, all right, and then yeah, you experience the shower and you go, all right now. I didn't tell him that, so listen, Dan. Shout out for the shower shout. It was a decent shower. Probably one of the best I've been to is Trent Hotel for a while. For a while. Um, yeah, and also on the day, different shows now do have a lot of food options. But if you're going to be more savvy with the money, or if you have dietary requirements, or if you're maybe just something that you don't want the fast food, then I'm assuming make sure you take your own sort of water, snacks. Make sure you know how you have places you can eat in that area. Or again, you know, a lot of them now like probably just Uber foods here. again, lately was the last obviously turn the show turn this year I've been on Huel, and I said at weekends I wasn't really doing Huel because I sort of using Huel for the weekdays when I was a bit more rushed, doing work and life in general. Weekends, I was sort of like taking that time to enjoy the food, not worry about too much, enjoy it as a social aspect sort of thing. So it's better for maybe not nutrition, but it's better for my mental health sort of thing. At the show is in the one time lately this year, I've been thinking, hey, maybe I should have bought some Huels or maybe bought some ready made ones just because of how long and sort of tough the days are or can be. So if you're doing the Yorkshire is a 2-dayer, the London 3-dayer, trade night, did it the long days, hard days, just to make sure you're sort of mentally and physically still on point for each day. So it's just something to sort of bear in mind. And again, remember the long, hard days. Make sure you get your sleep in, make sure you get your hydration in, make sure you try to get some good nutrition in there at some point just to keep you firing. Make sure you don't have like a bit of a crash of eating sort of nonsense for 3 days, little sleep, little hydration, and then trying to go back to work or life on Monday. You a bit of a crash. Um, Make sure you have your money in your bag or somewhere safe. You don't want to get to the show and forget about stuff. And last but not least, make sure you have your house keys, and your hotel key. You always want to make sure you get back to the hotel and back to your house if you get back there. So make sure you got them things with you. But yeah, let me know if I've missed anything out there. If you think I should have added something um, to that list, I mean, obviously your phone is always going to be useful, whether that's for comps or paying, etc. But yeah, let me know if I've missed something. Do you think there's a trade anything that you missed on? Are you against zip through hoodies or joggers at shows? Let me know. I'm intrigued. But that's just my little rundown of things I found make things a little bit easier, a bit more comfortable at these shows. And yeah, let me know if you're a hooligan like me. Or are you was it Ball or a Y Food guy? Um, I can't remember his name, so I apologize. But he runs the Essex Card Show. You see it at a lot of shows, and he is a Y Food guy, and he was telling me how good that is. Nice flavors. I did say I was going to try it. I have at the USC in my local supermarket. There is the Fallout edition, which I don't think changed the recipe or anything, but I just need to put the Fallout characters on the balls. So I will pick one up just to try it. But as I say that, Hewlett just give me a deal where if I move my order forward, I get a case of free ready-made like edition shakes. So I've just done that. So I don't not like I need to buy one, but yeah. Thanks for listening to the episode, and we'll see you on the other side. Yeah, peace.